Namaskar. Welcome to Conversations with Rakesh. Here's today's question. This came from one of my Instagram followers. Sir, I happen to think a lot. I continue thinking in directions. At the end of the day, I get exhausted, nothing is achieved, and I feel very guilty about it. Can you tell me how do I stop overthinking? What a fascinating question. By the way, we're going to forget about overthinking for a few seconds. I think let's focus on thinking. And I have the same problem. I think a lot. By the way, it's not a bad problem. It's a good thing. We human beings have the capacity to think. So my focus on this video is that I'm going to help you demystify this concept from a different perspective. But in this video, I'm going to give you a framework which can help you relook at your thinking processes and do something about it. And I worked very hard on this video. I'm also going to try something new. I'm going to use a whiteboard. There will be some sloppiness and little bit of issues because I'm not going to be there all the time. I'm going to bring in a whiteboard. It will take me some time to set up. But with that, with your permission, I'm going to give you a framework which I think will help you because it certainly helps me on how I can channelize my thinking for my betterment. So here goes. Thinking is actually a very normal process. Overthinking is also a normal process. If we all knew how to control our mind, we'll become Buddha. And I hope we do, but it's not going to be that easy. It's going to be a very difficult, long process. So, in that extreme, let me demystify thinking or overthinking using this simple framework which I'm about to show to you right now. So, here goes. If you look at this framework that I've created for you, I have now added some kind of a 2 by 2 matrix. Thinking is a normal process which is right here, somewhere in the middle. Now, we can think good things, which is positive thinking, or we can think bad things, which is negative thinking. So, this spectrum becomes very interesting that our mind is capable of going towards the positive side or the negative side, right? So, that's the parameter number one. On the y-axis, I've added one more parameter, that is our thinking meaningful or meaningless. If we are thinking on things which we derive meaningful from, like for example, my work, and if that thinking is helping me, that's a meaningful thought. But if it's completely not connected with what gives me meaning, it's a meaningless thought. So it gives a very different perspective. So this 2 by 2 matrix now has 4 boxes. Box number 1, which is this here, is the zone where we all should focus on. And this zone is our thoughts are positive and they are meaningful. And this is the zone of creativity. This is what is amazing. This is where great productivity comes. All right. Now let's go to zone number 2. Our thoughts are meaningful, but we are also creating some negative thoughts. For example, you may start getting doubt. You may start feeling that, oh, I don't think I'm in the right direction. And this is the zone of doubt, where our thoughts are negative, but they're still meaningful. As an entrepreneur, I can tell you I'm in this zone a lot. There are days I'm like, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? But then if I go back to my purpose and meaning, I'm like, okay, I still have to keep going. And this is the zone of doubt. Let's go to this third zone. This is the danger zone. This is the zone where our thoughts are highly negative, highly toxic, and they're meaningless. And this is the zone of anxiety. This is the most dangerous, which I want all of you to focus on. And I think this student who has sent me this question is probably here. You're always anxious about the future. You're worrying, you're stressed. It is now taking a toll on your physical and mental wellness. It can also result in depression. So please take care of yourself in this space, and I'll talk about some tips and techniques. And the last one is this fourth zone, which is very meaningless thoughts, but very positive. To give you a perspective, You are in a happy state, joyful state, playful state, but your thoughts are not directly connected to what you want to do. And I think this is a very important zone as well. And I call it the zone of curiosity. This is where the mind is all over the place. Many psychologists also call it the wandering, ruminating space. And the wandering space is sometimes good because it goes on to this track of curiosity. Why is this happening? What's going on? And we learn more. It's a zone of curiosity. The ideas come from this zone. They may not help us in our entrepreneurship or our job, but they are very productive because we are in a positive side. So what I encourage you to do is look at your question again, that how do we stop overthinking? Let's modify this question. You cannot stop overthinking. But I think you should find thought processes and think positively and meaningfully. And if you're in the zone of positivity but less meaningfulness, that's also fine because those are the zones of curiosity and creativity. Both zones are very good. And I hope you go from here to here. The problem is that we all end up here, this zone. We start doubting ourselves. The thoughts become negative. They start becoming toxic, and we fall from here to here, which is anxiety, always worrying about the future, always worrying about our decisions. And because of that, we sometimes take bad decisions because it's always about toxicity, negativity, and fear. And we never improve. And not only we do meaningless things, but we're also stressing ourselves out and damaging our lives. Imagine you have a car and the car is going round in circles and it'll completely exhaust all its fuel and it might just be useless. This is what this zone is all about. So, my dear students and all of you working out there, this is a bad zone. And if you're in this zone, please do something about it. The first is you must talk to someone about it, even write a diary, make it voluntary. Don't stop your thoughts. The problem is many of us stop our thoughts. Don't stop our thoughts. Let it flow. And voluntary thoughts are better. Talk to someone. Please go to a psychiatrist or a therapist because this is a zone of depression. This is a zone of anxiety and it might get worse for you. So please talk to someone. And zone number 3 is a bad idea. If you're in this zone, please stop right now and take someone's help. If you're in zone number 2, where you are thinking, doubts are coming. It's normal. It's very normal for all of us to have doubts. Many of us who love to do our work, sometimes we question ourselves that are we in the right direction? Those thoughts are very important. Nothing wrong in it. So when you are experiencing negative thoughts, but you feel that I am doing something meaningful, it's time to rest. Pause. Take a break. Here, you need to stop. Zone number 3, completely stop. But zone number 2, I think you should pause. Take a break, distract yourself, rest a little bit. It's very important. If you're in zone number 4, which is you are in the zone of curiosity, you have positive thoughts, but you are doing meaningless things, you're wandering. Fine, do that, but act. Many of us don't act. This is where you should take your ideas and do something about it. Don't just sit there. Those ideas will go away. So act on it. And the last is if you're in the zone 1, which is the ultimate zone where you are thinking positively and you are doing something meaningful. This is the zone of creativity. Do more. Don't stop. Press on. And all of this comes with a pinch of salt. So I'm not trying to say that you must burn yourself, but this framework will help you understand overthinking better. That if you're overthinking, but it is in the positive direction and you're doing something meaningful about it, that's creativity, innovation. Do that more. If you are in a zone of positivity, but not doing something meaningful, that's curiosity. Act on it. But if you're in a zone of negativity, but doing something meaningful, that's doubt. So pause and rest. And if you're in a zone where you are negative, toxic, and completely doing meaningless things, which is nothing but overthinking, overanalyzing, paralyzing, stop right now and ask for help. To me, this framework is something I use all the time. I fluctuate between 2, 1, 4, sometimes I go to 3 also. And I take help of my family, my friends. I write down my thoughts. I sometimes just stop for a few days and don't do anything. And when I'm in doubt, I go for long walks. I buy an ice cream and feel good about myself. So I come from toxicity to positivity. And then I connect my work from meaninglessness to meaningfulness. So this, my dear friends, is something I hope you will apply. This is something you will learn from. Overthinking is not bad, but overthinking negative thoughts on completely meaningless things is terrible. So please stop. Overthinking and having negative thoughts but doing something meaningful is doubt. So pause and rest and come to the positive side. And that positive side is the zone of curiosity and creativity where you will bring out the best of your work. Take care of yourself.